Welcome back to another Great League episode. We are going to be running a new team here featuring the Lanturn Gligar and Shadow Venusaur. We decided to switch out into the Gligar here just to see if they decide to switch out. They actually end up switching out into their Pelipper. This Pelipper will have to start tanking a bunch of these Aero Aces. The Aero Ace does, 20%, 25%. So, unfortunately for us, we are not able to tank one of those Weather Balls. So, we're just going to have to farm down with the Lanturn. And then immediately switch out into our Shadow Venusaur. Here, we're going to throw this Frenzy Plant immediately. Our opponent does end up shielding it, so interesting. And then here, we're going to have to shield this Body Slam just to preserve the health. We are going to be throwing another Frenzy Plant here. Our opponent ends up switching in right on our move. So nice play by my opponent right there, but we were going to have to throw two moves anyways, I believe. And so we do end up getting a shield from our opponent. We try to switch out right there, and we are not quite able to catch any moves, but I guess they were trying to farm down anyways. Our opponent ends up throwing a ton of lunges, and we have to throw this Thunderbolt here. We do have a shield, so we do get that Thunderbolt off, and now it's just a race to the Surf. Will we be able to get to the Surf? Yes, we will. Because of that shield, it forces our opponent to having to get to at least 2 Body Slams. So GG's to our opponent right there. Nice play by us. Figure out that team. That team ended up being kind of interesting with the Buzzwole paired with Lickitung. I guess they are kind of throwing their own take on it instead of the Lickitung and Medicham core. So once again, we switch into the Gligar. We are met with a Azumarill. This is a horrible matchup. As probably they haven't revealed it yet, but they probably have Ice Beam, and they know that they can tank these moves. So they're going to throw a move right before they get to ours. Ends up being the Ice Beam, and that is really good for them. Here, we have a decision to make. Are we going to go with the Lanturn, or are we going to go in with the Venusaur? We decided to go in with the Lanturn because they revealed that they had Ice Beam, and so we didn't want to take damage with our Shadow Venusaur with their Ice Beam. So we're just going to throw this Thunderbolt here and probably switch out. Okay, perfect. And we're going to put everything on the line on this Venusaur. Our opponent does end up getting to 1 foul play. We are always going to have to shield that. So we do get the farm down, which is great. And now we have a ton of energy on Venusaur. They have 2 shields, and let's see if we can wiggle out of this situation. It ends up being a Frostlass, so very tough. Frostlass being partly ice is doing some super effective fast moves, and that's what's so crazy about it is we were trying to get to these Frenzy Plants as fast as possible, but they ended up having us use our Frenzy Plant on their sack swap there. But I don't know if a Frenzy Plant would have taken out this Frostlass, to be honest. Maybe it would have. So GG's to our opponent right there. A little bit unlucky, but also a great play by my opponent. So we have to go back and look at it, but maybe the Venusaur would have done the 50% needed to take out that Frostlass. But anyways, here we go again. We switch out into the Gligar, and we are met with the absolute hard counter. This Dugong is one of the hardest counters to this Gligar. This Gligar is not looking for the ice types, but at least we do bait out the water ice types. Now we can come in with the Lanturn. And if you didn't know already, this Dugong is a core breaker to our team, so it is a little bit problematic, but we do get it out of the way eventually. We're just gonna have to tank 2 drill runs and then basically just switch out. We end up seeing the Deoxys in the back. This Deoxys in the back is probably going to go for the Psycho Boost and Dip. That's exactly what happened. And we are met with a Heliolisk. This is gonna be carrying Breaking Swipe, I believe. We're gonna have to tank one because we need to keep this Venusaur somewhat healthy. No matter what, we were always gonna have to either tank a move or shield, but it looks like our Shadow Venusaur was just a little too squishy for everything in the back. Nothing we could have done right there, especially since they had the Dugong in their backline to really just farm down our Gligar. And so I don't know, maybe the switching isn't the play, but at least we got it out of the way early. So here we do have 2 counters to this Medicham, so we immediately switch out. It looks like they come in with their Umbreon. This Umbreon is going to be throwing the first Foul Play. This Foul Play, you know, does a good chunk of damage, but we're also doing some stab move Dig. This Dig, I don't know, does about 20%, 15%. So here we're going to shield because we want to take advantage of the switch-in. We were hoping they would shield right there, but heads up play by them, they did not shield. So it allows us to get to this Aerial Ace, which we do get the shield back. Our opponent ends up throwing a move right before we get to another Aerial Ace, so nice job by my opponent. Here, we're going to switch out into the Venusaur here, and this comes down to a call. Is this going to be the bait, or is this going to be the Psychic? Ends up being the Psychic. We called it incorrectly, so a little bit of a coin flip right there that we didn't do correctly. If we had guessed, or if we had shielded that correctly, we would have been able to get to 2 Frenzy Plants to either take out this Medicham or to get it low enough so that we can farm it down. But now that has happened, we're not going to be allowed to get to 2 Surfs because our opponent is going to be throwing their first Dragon Claw, and I believe they're adding another Dragon Claw here. So GG's to our opponent right there. Nice plays by my opponent on really utilizing this Shadow Charizard to perfection. The team is solid. That last game, we had a 50-50 chance to win the game at the end right there. It was just a matter of, did we want to shield that potential Psychic, or was it ever a bait? So a little bit unlucky, but considering our lead, it was decent. So here we decided to go into our Shadow Venusaur versus their Sableye. We want to basically pressure shields. So we're throwing these Frenzy Plants right before they get to their move. They are also deciding to shield, so they are unfortunately 1 fast move ahead of us, so we were not able to get to that 3rd Frenzy Plant. That 3rd Frenzy Plant would have been able to take out that Sableye, but we are able to come in with our Lanturn to take it out, but then we are able to come in with our counter swap of Gligar. They counter swap into their Toxapex. Luckily for us, we are able to get to these digs that are super effective damage. They do throw Brine, but the Brine is not enough to one-hit KO our Gligar. So here we're hoping this dig takes it out. Perfect. And now we have energy, and we're going to try to throw. Ooh, we got CMP right here. It has to be the Foul Play. It ends up being the Foul Play, so heads up play. But because we did so much wing attack damage with our Gligar, all we have to do here is get to this Thunderbolt, and this should be GG's. It should be enough. Let's find out. Yep, right there. So GG's to our opponent right there. Well played. And check out this team if you haven't already. It's pretty solid, and let us know if you enjoyed the video.